Hey, yo. So I don't know if anybody that's watching this is understanding what's been taking place lately. Not even just in regards to, science and NASA and what have you, in regards to poles shifting and opening us up to fourth and fifth dimensional realities. That's why a lot of people are kind of seeing like little shadow figures and little things, and you see what's happened is something that was once labeled as the rapture. Mind you, I don't think that they realized, or maybe they did, that it tied into the Mayan calendar. I felt it happen on the 25th of last month, or 26th, somewhere around there, where I woke up in the middle of the night and I didn't feel all there, like something had changed, and I noticed in a lot of people around me, not around me, but things that I would be observing where I would normally go to for my counsel or for my, my daily bread, they were receiving the same information that I am, almost to a T. I understand more details, and I've connected a lot of dots. But the funny story is back in the day when I had a label and I was a born-again Christian, and they'd start talking about that rapture thing where people would disappear. I always knew that meant something else. And there's parts in the Bible where talk about like one man will be in the field. There'll be two men in the field, but one will be there and one won't be. And I explained that in another video about that. That's an example of different dimensional realities and who they're walking with, whether they're walking knowing everything is purposeful or whether they're just stuck in a trance and in the matrix and holding on to all those illusions that were there to, help them wake up, but really they were just their own embodiments over and over again, just like all the reflections and everything. So anyway, back in the day, as crazy as it sounded to me at the time, I remember verbally, and it's because I knew what I was here for then, and I didn't know that I knew, as it always works out, that I had verbally offered myself. I said, if there is this thing called a rapture, and all of a sudden a whole bunch of people disappear, and like all of a sudden they can't find their kids and nothing in the world makes sense, I don't mind being there to try. And back then I thought I was, gonna like share Christianity specifically with people. I didn't know that I was gonna realize what Christ is really teaching about us being God and how we can work through those stages in order to awaken to that essence and know what to do with it properly so that we could be like magical beings that consistently create anything that we need at any time. I had offered myself up and said I will totally stay behind and help guide those that are still here to find themselves and find peace. Even though they were saying something about a rapture and it being like, oh, too little, too late, the way it was depicted then, there was something in me that knew that it's never too late and that there's people that are going to be stuck in these dimensional realities and they're going to be afraid of the things they're seeing. They're going to be afraid of the things they're seeing in their loved ones instead of realizing that so many things are merging together and bleeding over into each other, where a person is going to be acting completely differently at moments in time because they decided to pick up some extra weight, because these energies that are everywhere at this point can house themselves in a body that has a good place for it to dwell. So in other words, there has to be fear, shame, doubt, abandonment. Any of those wounds have to be available in your heart for anything to even be able to penetrate you. Things could mess with you and tickle you a little bit. You could get sick a little bit. You could feel a little weird. You could have body aches while it's stuck in there a little bit, or the effects that the energy has on your body, or that your thoughts started doing that then poured it into your body, and like a ripple effect. So, it's just really important for all of us to stay in our hearts, no matter what it is that we're seeing, feeling, or experiencing, because we're becoming one, quite literally. And either we're going to find a way to figure out how to make that resonate and integrate smoother into our system, or people are going to lose it, either mentally or physically, because whatever the mind can't handle will store in the body. So and even what it can handle. But if it's not being handled, it will store there like a little storage facility, going, okay, well, I'll be here when you're ready. And I might not cause you pain right now, but it's just going to be a little ache, and it can come or go. But if you don't deal with it, I am a living example of how your entire vessel, your entire temple will try and tell you that there's something seriously wrong, or a great many things. Like if I had gone to the doctor and told them all of the things that I was going, I would have had a list of 10 ailments with labels and medicines and God knows what else. And I wouldn't stick to that. I have spinal issues that cause excruciating pain, and I have titanium in my spine and my neck and my lower back. And even all of that, even with all of that going on inside of me, I know that when I'm in a balanced place in my emotional body, and I am keeping things clearing out and not holding them inside, my body is healing. Pretty soon I'm not going to need any more assistance from people. In fact, I'm not taking it right now, because I can do things on my own. I don't need the help that I desperately needed not that long ago, because I was a conduit and didn't fully own it. And I was inviting things in instead of, taking the blessing, integrating it, and releasing it, because we're supposed to release things that don't serve us in the way that it makes our spirit grow. Anything that tries or unintentionally ends up holding us back or keeping us in a box or stuck in a house or whatever the case might be, we have to see through that and offer it love and take the little baby steps that are required to create a new pattern that works, because we're all seeking patterns. It's really hard to live in the present moment only. You have to develop some sort of healthy pattern or discipline that brings you to a place where that can then be incorporated. You're not going to be able to do all this while moving in fast forward, because it takes presence. And I've been blessed with the ability to have been blind and broken enough to be still and know. And it was all a part of the whole intricate design that I have chosen, so that I could know this, so that I could share it with you right now at this beautiful, pivotal time in evolutionary history. And I believe in all of us. And I believed in us back then, which is why I offered myself up so willingly. It's like I knew I was going to have the superpowers that I have to be able to stay in love under any and all circumstances. It doesn't mean I don't feel pain. It doesn't mean I don't get enraged sometimes. It doesn't mean that I don't cry my eyes out, because I feel, like I am not asleep to what's going on. I am aware and very present with how that feels in the soul. And that's why I do this, because the weight is so great that I was willing to feel, that made me understand that it just takes me being all me and not being afraid to be seen. And that's all that it would take. And it's just beautiful. And I'm here for you. And I'm here for me. And you're me and I'm you. So I heard somebody else say it this way before, and I love it. I think she says, if it's me, then it's you. And if it's you, then it's me. And if we know that under any and all circumstances, even if you're dealing with like a shadow entity in your living room or something, game changer. I love you.